Okay, I think we are live here. Hi, Sam.
Hello, live
This is
for the first time on
exciting.
LinkedIn.
Yes, yes. So hello everyone who's joining. Yeah, we are super excited to kind of do our first LinkedIn Live here. We just want to have some more conversations on what's really moving the needle for TA hiring outcomes. Sam and I speak with TA leaders all the time who are grappling with time and time again how tough it is to make hires at scale, to make them for the right price in the right time frame. And we're working with them on some really cool stuff, but we really wanted to come on here and to share the data that we have around this. We have a lot of data around job seeker behavior, what they're looking for, what they respond best to, and how employers are getting more efficient at their hiring. And so our first conversation is around the data we have on Dalia's universal candidate profiles. And we're going to hit everything from A to Z, what they are, what Dalia is doing with it, how they're helping with the flood of AI applications that we're hearing a lot, and really how they strengthen the relationship between the job seeker and employers. And so to kind of, before we jump into all the juicy details, I just want to do some quick intro. I'm Michaela Fitzwilliam. I'm the Director of Growth at Dalia. I was the third employee here. That was about 5.5 years ago. And so I really spent a lot of time working with Sam, helping to build this business and product. And we've had hundreds of the same conversations around the problems that I mentioned above. And of course, the pains have evolved and the markets have shifted, but those core goals still exist. And so we've really been able to help employers focus and materially increase their career site conversion to actually help them actualize those goals, right? Actually create a reduced cost per hire at scale. And so we're really excited to talk more about how we're doing that through our universal candidate profiles. And so, yeah, Sam, I'll kick it over to you. I know you've been in this space for like almost 2 decades. Sorry to age you a little bit. But quick intro, also a little bit about Dalia, what started and what really made you want to focus on this problem of like career site conversion and why it's such a blind spot for a lot of TA teams that are spinning their wheels on these consistent problems.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you pointed out the 20-year thing because I don't think people would have picked up on that just from looking at me, obviously. And you've been here for 5 years, so that's like it's kind of like 25 years at a normal company, I would think. So
It seems like it. It seems like it.
Dalia has changed and Michaela has changed. It's been cool, but yeah, we've come a long way from those early days, and yeah, I've just been excited that we've continued to increase conversion rates as we go. So quick background on me, Sam here. I am co-founder here at Dalia, and we've been working on this business for a number of years. And prior to this, I worked in the job board space. I was with Indeed for a long time in the early days. And then I worked at the Muse for a couple of years and then moved on to start Dalia. And so, yeah, I've just been loving the experience. The reason that I decided like the world needed this product is because most career site products, ever since I can remember, just weren't like the best possible UX for job seekers. And I think most companies we talk to understand this. So I really wanted to pursue a product and a solution that was heavily geared towards the job seeker experience and really thinking about what job seekers go through when they're looking for a job and when they're interacting with career sites. And that's like the basis of everything that we do at Dalia. I don't think we promote this fact a lot, but we have a job seeker support team, and that is a huge driver of everything that we do in the product at Dalia. So yeah, there's just so much that we learn and so much that we build into the product. So I'm excited to share a lot of that as we go.
Very cool. Very cool. And so I guess this kind of rolls right into this universal candidate profile. We've been doing this for a while now, but I know it's like a newer concept to the TA space. A lot of TA leaders aren't familiar with it, and a lot of ATSs and career sites don't offer this type of capability. So maybe to set the stage a little bit, can you just explain, like, in general, the concept of this universal candidate profile and then what Dalia is doing with it?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the concept is incredibly simple, which I think is always a good thing. We try to keep things simple as much as you can. But it's basically a profile that job seekers can use to quickly connect or apply to any company that's using Dalia. So there's two main things that help job seekers convert from what we see. One is the UX. Like, is it seamless? Is it optimized for a mobile device? Is it easy? Is it fast? Does it pull out unnecessary friction? That's one big piece. The other big piece is, do I have to like re-enter information that's already available or I have already entered, right? Even if you have an incredible UX and you have to re-enter that information multiple times, that drops conversion. So the basis of Dalia is like improving on those two things. And so the universal candidate profile is just a data layer that job seekers have access to, and they can quickly reuse data that's stored within Dalia to connect to new companies that are using Dalia or apply to their jobs seamlessly without re-entering data. So that's the basis of it.
And why does it need to like exist? I mean, maybe that's the wrong word to use, but why is it so important like today in the past couple of years in evolving job seeker expectations, candidate behavior? Like, why now? It seems to be like a simple solution.
Yeah, I mean, it should have existed before we started doing this years ago. But yeah, I think like candidates expect the same consumer grade experience everywhere they go, right? And they're getting it today. They get it. I use Instagram, so sorry, that's like a little old school, but like Instagram, that's what I think of. It's like a great UX. I'm also obsessed with the Shop app. It just has an incredible UX. The Shop Pay button and checkout system is really good, but you'll notice that like these UXs are very well designed for people's physical hands. So it's not, you can tell that when you use those products, it wasn't designed on a computer screen. It was designed on an actual device because things are oriented where it's ergonomically comfortable for your thumb. It's just easy to use those systems. That does not exist in HR tech. And so that's what we're bringing into this. But that ease of use, that like incredible experience, it's in demand. And if you can deliver an incredible experience like that in UX, it returns super high conversion. So that's why, that's like really what we're trying to achieve here is like get HR tech, TA tech up to that standard.
Okay, so like Shop Pay for job applications, where if I sign up with Dalia, I put my information in once, right? And like I say, yes, so you can store my information. The next time I go to another company that has Dalia or the same company back as a return visitor, it can be as simple as a 2-click kind of application. So to speak.
You just sign in basically.
Okay. Very cool. So why don't you show us kind of what this looks like for the job seeker? So we can kind of put a face to the name, if you will.
Let's do it. Let me pull up my incognito window here and get this rolling here.
Sounds like a lot of tabs.
You know me. You can tell this is live because
exactly.
As this loads up, I'll explain why we always have to run incognito to demo, because we use cookie data to basically remember people. And so in order for me to get a fresh session, I have to really not only open incognito, but really close it out and open a whole separate browser. So that's what I'm doing here. I think we've got it.
Yeah, because a part of the universal candidate profiles is we remember people also. So your computer would know you. Okay, let me see if I can get this on stage. There we go. We're seeing that window.
And you're going to have to watch me pass through the bot detection, which I guess I did. Okay. All right. Is this working, Michaela? Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So this is like the desktop version of Dalia. You'll see this form that's open right now. We have intent-based forms that load depending on lots of different variables. In this case, because I'm in an incognito window and because of the page I'm looking at, it's the very first thing that loads. But in most cases, this is an exit intent form, and it's the final thing that loads, like if you're showing intent to leave. But I'm just going to close out of that and go to the mobile view, because that's honestly what 80% of people use to look at career sites. I'll just refresh the page to make sure it's well optimized for mobile. Let's see. Okay. So this company, Elwood, they're using Dalia. And I like to use them as an example because they're hiring for lots of really hard to fill, hard to find candidates, especially forklift drivers. And so one of the things that we do at Dalia is let candidates reuse their information, but also we can collect specific screening questions, specific information that lets a company know whether or not they're truly qualified. So I'm just going to go through the Dalia experience here. So I can quickly connect by just putting in my phone number. And what that does is, one, it sends me a short code so that I can make sure, or Elwood can make sure that I'm not a bot or an AI application. So that phone number text short code blocks 99.99% of any bot activity or mass AI application activity. And that's really powerful because our clients are seeing an increase in that. So the other thing it does is it looks me up. If I already exist inside of the Dalia ecosystem, then it pulls all my information forward so I don't have to re-enter that again. And if I'm not in the system, then it takes me through this connection process, which we've designed to be like really simple, especially for your thumb on a mobile device. So Elwood, they want like pretty specific job titles. So I'm going to pick the one that's most relevant for getting a match here. And I will look in Hanover, PA. So I'm saying I want a forklift job, right? If I would have connected before to Elwood, it would have had the answers to these questions. But I haven't, so I'm just going to run through and answer these. And Michaela, is it still sharing?
Yeah, it's still sharing.
All right. If you have any questions along the way, just shout out. So we get a little bit more data, and this is all because I chose forklift, right? If I chose something else, then it would let me see different questions. And then it's going to ask, am I certified? Of course. Now I might just be screening myself in, right? Oh,
right. That was my question. Like everyone can have screening questions and just kind of pass through. And I've been hearing that more and more is that they're getting people, or AI is like doing it, saying yes for when it's not true.
Exactly. So I mentioned it was like a 99.99% block for the AI bot applications. The main reason is because it's incredible. It would be incredibly expensive for AI application systems to buy phone numbers and receive short codes and then re-enter them. So that's going to kill most of it. But they're also good at just like yesing and qualifying in until they reach a question like this, which only the driver of a forklift would know the answer to. So we work with our clients. We also work independently to come up with real screening questions to confirm somebody actually knows the job that you're trying to hire for. They're not just standard. So I actually don't know the answer to this question. So Michaela, can you screen me in here by like?
Yeah, it was I think it's B. It helps ensure forklift won't tip over. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, you could get an interview as a forklift driver. So when we connect, right now, that data is syncing into that candidate's profile with Dalia, and we submit and send that data directly to Elwood. And so that's like, at a very high level, what this universal candidate connection does. It's a secure, seamless way to connect. And then the Dalia experience kicks in here where we start showing matching jobs.
Okay. And so as an employer, like, I guess what's the benefit for the employer to get access to or have this Dalia on their site and get access to these people?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's two main benefits. One, they're just going to get a lot more of the visitors to actually connect and share information. So most of the companies we work with, they have a talent community or a job alert system. They have some way for a candidate to connect if they're not ready to apply. These forms or that experience I just showed you delivers anywhere from a 9x to 24x increase in candidate lead data. That's like 800% increase, right? It's usually the minimum. So if you're, the company's getting 1,000 talent community signups a month, when they add Dalia's Connect feature, they could expect that to go up to 9,000 at a minimum. And beyond.
That sounds like too good to be true. Like what is it about the UX, or what have we learned that like we can deliver this much increase in conversion? Like,
I mean, one thing is that like these call to actions on a traditional career site are just buried. There's not much of a call to action. It might be on the homepage, in the footer. Sometimes they're in the header nav, but rarely are they on job pages, which is where most traffic goes. So when you leave job seekers with only one option to convert, which is an apply button, you see a really high abandon rate. That's one of the reasons. It's like employers just, or the career site platform, it's not really the employer's fault here. The career site platforms just don't give that call to action enough exposure. And then the other piece is just really like the parts of Dalia that work well. We have, millions of candidates now who are in the system with data ready to reuse. And so as more and more candidates connect, it becomes easier and easier for them to reconnect with other companies. So as that candidate network grows, conversion rates increase over time. So that helps. And obviously like the UX, like we really optimized for mobile, and that's where we see the biggest drop off, especially if you've ever tried to sign up for a talent network on a mobile device
with multiple fields, resumes.
Yeah, the fields are not well optimized. Like I've talked about this on LinkedIn like endlessly, but there's still some talent network or job application forms where they ask for a location in multiple fields, like enter your city here, then your state here, then your zip code here. I mean, that could all be done in 3 keystrokes, but instead it's 3 different fields like that. Those kind of things destroy conversion.
Right. But if I have bought I use a Phenom or a Paradox, or whatever, have this CRM, it is capturing leads, and Dalia can seem duplicative, especially if I'm trying to make a business case. Like, what's the real impact that, sure, I can get 10,000 more leads per month, but one, our team doesn't do anything with them, or we're not seeing a good conversion on us reaching out to those leads. Like, what's the actual impact that could make the business say, okay, yeah, we need this yesterday?
Yeah. Great question. So there's like another part of Dalia that I didn't show in that demo, which is, when we serve those job matches, you can click in and actually start a job, which is like a real-time pull from the ATS. So it asks the exact same screening questions they're asked in the ATS. And so candidates can actually just continue the process if they want to apply on the spot and just apply to a job, and that data gets synced into the ATS. So in addition to driving the leads, it also increases completed applications into the ATS. So in the example I just showed you, if I would have clicked into one of those forklift jobs, I could have continued and answered those questions, and that would have been an application that Elwood may not have received otherwise. Beyond that, we have automated alerts. So we do alerts over text and email, and it's fully automated. It's all based on user intent and engagement. So those run in parallel alongside, like if a company already has a CRM. In fact, most of our clients have a CRM and they're sending some form of content, but usually that content is not oriented around jobs specifically, and it just does not go out frequently enough to make any kind of difference in their overall numbers. So when Dalia is active and we have the people connecting, plus we're sending our alerts, we can double the number of completed applications from existing career site traffic. So if you're getting 1,000 completed applications a month from your career site traffic, at a minimum, typically we double that number to go up to 2,000. And that's something that a CRM is incapable of achieving because they're just not designed for conversion at scale.
Yeah. And then, but I keep hearing like today, especially with AI bot applications, yes, there's that quality mismatch where AI is just like creating perfect resumes and saying yes to all screening questions. But then like in this problem, they're inundated with piles and piles of apps. And so from what I'm hearing, to kind of be the advocate for the TA leaders, like we're not looking for more applications, we're looking for like a better quality, or we're looking for actually how to make hires faster. And so it seems like Dalia applicants, like that might not solve that problem. So what impact does that have?
Yeah. You're like making this hard on me, Michaela.
Yeah. Pushing your buttons here.
Yeah. So when the last thing that any TA leaders we talk to want to hear is here's some more volume for you, right? As you mentioned. But there's a huge difference between applicants from a career site and applicants from a job board. And the huge difference is the percentage of those applicants who actually get hired. So for almost every single one of our clients, career site, people who apply directly through your career site or an owned channel are hired 3 times at the rate of someone who applies from Indeed or a similar job board. And so when we increase the number of applicants from the career site, we're increasing the number of applicants from your best quality source. And we can actually further increase that apply to hire ratio with the type of screening that I just showed for Elwood. So if somebody doesn't qualify in, they're not a match, like we just won't send them matching jobs. So we actually, in many cases, can deliver a stronger conversion to hire through our re-engagement than the career site alone. So it's a big increase in volume of qualified and interested candidates, and interest is a key word. And what that allows our clients to do is just cut way back on the amount of money they're spending for disinterested applicants from job boards who have applied to 30 other companies in the same day. So that's really what the payoff is. You get more of the high quality candidates, and that allows you to cut back. And usually there's significant budget being spent on big job boards that are not delivering hires. So that's kind of how that like works out.
It's interesting because it's like you're casting the widest net. Like you're saying, okay, get as many leads as possible. But then like Dalia does that work to like actually make that super wide top of funnel the smallest it can be and needs to be to create those hires to like kind of filter out the most quality people. So it's like a 2-step kind of you need that 2-step process, like cast the wide net and then automate the qualified matching to those positions, and then drive them back to apply to the right jobs. So I guess we're like really doing 3 things to help increase the quality there.
It kind of sounds contradictory, but what we've found from experience, like the wider, the biggest possible net you can cast at the top of the funnel, the higher quality you can deliver if you are actually doing things to drive that. But we've increased quality by opening up the funnel at the top. So.
And doing those steps like in between.
Of course, yeah.
For sure.
The other thing about the universal profiles is that with every interaction, the data builds. And so when we match jobs, it's not only about what the person explicitly said they were interested in, but we know their behavior, we know what they're looking at, we know what their interests are based on their actions. And so all of that data continues to build over time to allow us to deliver what I think is unparalleled job matching. That can't, it's very hard to deliver the same kind of job matching unless you're working with a data set that's as large as the one we're working with, and using it in the ways that we use it. So that's another thing that's, interesting, that, pretty incredible value of this universal profile is that it grows and builds and improves over time. So job matching gets better over time. It's pretty cool.
That's very cool. Especially, I mean, we also have a dedicated team to help with that. So it's not just based on keywords and guessing. But I know you had some data around this, right? Like, what does this actually look like in practice for our clients? Do you have a hard stop at 1?
I do.
Okay.
But we will do a little teaser with the data here. Let's jump into it.
We can always hop back on and do something else.
Yeah, so we test everything. We do an incredible amount of A/B testing, and so I just want to pull up some data. Michaela, let me know if that's coming through.
Oh, there we go. Yep, got it.
Okay, so we use Mixpanel, which we love, and it gives us like very clean views of all of our data. So we just wanted to show a comparison. Some of our clients are using legacy forms that don't allow a quick connection, right? But the vast majority use our forms that allow people to just sign in. And so there's a stark difference in conversion rate because people can reuse their data. So this is what it is. The blue line, which is labeled here as universal, is the experience that I just showed. That is where candidates can quickly connect and sign in and reuse their data. The red line is a conversion of our legacy forms that are still in use in some places where even if you already exist inside the Dalia network and your data is there, we treat you like we don't know you, which is the experience on every single career site on the planet, and you have to re-enter your data. So it's almost like double the conversion. Actually, it's a little bit more than double the conversion. And so, this is pretty massive. That's why we've been so bullish on the concept of this universal profile. Yeah, like that's been cool to see, and that directly correlates to an increase in completed applications for our clients. The other piece that's interesting is just to look at like how many of these people are new versus they already existed within the Dalia system. So the higher conversion is not only for people who come back and sign in, which is the red line, but for net new people, the conversion is also higher. So this isn't the conversion rate. This is really just like the number of people who are connecting. But it just shows that the conversion, this purple line here, which is a conversion rate, it's much higher even if you're net new because the experience is a lot better. So I think it just kind of shows both fronts, UX and the value of the Dalia network. And that's it. I have to jump. So
all right.
We'll have to come back and do another live, but hopefully that was interesting.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I will, we'll sign off here. If you're interested in learning more, you can DM me. I'm going to be doing more of these with Sam and other leaders in the space. And so if you're interested or passionate about talking about things you're doing and working on your team, also DM me. I just want to have more conversations on what's actually moving the needle and what people are doing. So hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Sam, for joining.
Yep. Thanks. Bye.